Welcome to a new episode of the Insilico Terminal podcast. Today, I have with me our dear CEO and glorious leader, Denis. Actually, I don't really know how to do this now because usually I ask the people how do you introduce yourself,
I mean,
but
I'm not sure either, to be honest. Like, I'm just Denis, I've been here for a while now. I guess most people that are going to be listening to the chat kind of know me from, CT and whatnot. I just mainly write code and kind of make sure that, the terminal operations are running smoothly. So yeah, that's mainly me, I guess.
maybe we can talk a bit about how the story, how you got to start working at the terminal, how you became CEO, stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, I've been on CT for quite some time. I think my account is from 2017 and whatnot. Um, I got into crypto because I got scammed by some weird ass Bulgarian crypto scam or something like that. And I was like really wondering, like, yo, what the fuck is this crypto all about? And I kind of joined for a bunch of stuff. And I was just like following Trip on Twitter and what's his name, Jim as well. And I was like in some
Yeah.
bad longs at the time, and they were like kind of making fun that
Yeah,
he's gonna be like all of a cliff and whatnot. And I kind of closed my shoulders, like, yeah, let me just follow Trip to see like what's he on about. And after a couple of months or so, I kind of seen that they have like this business, the terminal and whatnot. I've seen Azid, his account, that he was
yeah.
managing everything, and I just give him a follow. I was working as a developer at some startups in Dubai back then, and
Mhm.
you know, uh, they just posted on Twitter that, yo, we're hiring. And I was like, that's my fucking chance to kind of, remain in the industry and also do something that's like more my way. Cause I was kind of young back then. I didn't know how to trade. I didn't understand markets. I didn't know
Mhm.
what all of these perps are, like what the math behind is, like nothing basically. I didn't know how exchanges work, like how most of crypto works and whatnot. So just let me just, you know, see if I'm a fit. But, thankfully for the most part, initially, back then, most of the terminal workload was, take this exchange, integrate it. It's got like this API behind it. You just read the docs, send some payloads to the exchange, and that's it. That was before we kind of did the, complex order forms, all of this like super complex
Mhm.
weird shit that's like right now in the terminal. And I remember there were like quite some people that applied for the job, but like I told Ozzy that I don't want to be stuck forever. Writing, like simple Excel wrappers around like my entire tech career. So he kind of like took a liking to me, I guess, and said, like, what? Yeah, fucking take the job. And
Mhm.
I've been productive since day one on the code base. Like I'm just just like that. I'm him basically. So yeah, it was fun. They kept throwing more shit at me, and I kept like making it every single fucking time, man. But it was quite stressful in the beginning because I didn't know
Mhm.
much shit. But I kind of grew up around the ecosystem, and I know the ins and outs of like why the terminal behaves in a certain way. And then we started hiring more people and more people. And as you obviously said, Dennis, you're going to be fucking managing everything now. Congrats. And yeah, I've been managing the client side. Then I started managing the backend side as well. And slowly I got into kind of finding out new prospects about hiring, just doing the interviews, and slowly work my way up to the top. I mean, the team was kind of like slim in the beginning, just me, Azzy, Danny on the infrastructure side, Denis as well on the back end.
Mhm.
And obviously, as we onboarded new people, Azzy being like the fucking mad developer, his time is like much better spent writing code than managing everybody else. I was like, yeah, I can just like show them the ropes around and whatnot. So that became kind of my full-time job alongside writing all of this code.
Mhm. Were you not intimidated by your lack of, as you said, trading knowledge in the beginning to work on a software that requires quite
I
intricate
mean,
knowledge, I
I
would
mean, I
say, of
was. I mean, I
markets?
still am sometimes. It's like we get these new weird. I mean, each exchange has like their own implementation, but like when it's a clean slate and you don't anything, you kind of expect of yourself to kind of know everything. But just like it's not gonna happen. Like you're never gonna know anything because everybody has like a different implementation of it, and at the end of the day, just like make it work. I think everybody gets like imposter syndrome at some point, but like I don't think that there's like a perfect developer, like a perfect man, or like a perfect trader, like any perfect type of like archetype that's just gonna be like perform exceptionally at first. You just have to work your way to it. But like I got like a lot of code reviews and a lot of chatting about the ins and outs of exchanges with Azi, with other higher experienced developers, and it just it becomes second nature after a while.
I'm curious, like how much of the terminal would you say is like now made by you
Oh,
and like
I
made by
have
Ozzy? Like
stats. I have
what's the
stats. I
percentage?
have
Do
stats.
you?
Yes,
Because you've been here like for quite a while now, and like
I have stats. Yeah. That's why I don't allow other developers to kind of use auto formatters, mostly because it's gonna fuck up my stats. And I'm really proud of the amount of code I've put in. So I really don't want them to kind of just like, oh, I auto formatted files, so just like 5,000 lines added.
yeah,
Yeah. But like it's a fair amount of code. I think Eternal has like more than 1,000,000 lines of code at this point across all the repos.
mm-hmm.
And yeah. And see, allow, approve. So, insights. Contributors. So I've contributed with a total of roughly 300,000 lines of code. It's actually
Mm-hmm.
265,000. Ozzy has 315,000.
So
Yeah.
you're not quite caught up yet.
Yeah, but I mean, Ozzy kind of wrote the first version is like the core stuff, and we just keep adding and
Yeah.
merging and doing stuff on top of it. Derek is also like quite high. Derek has like 160,000 lines added and
Mm-hmm.
270,000 lines deleted. But it's also like a lot of, boilerplate or like config files that are like just regenerated and whatnot. Is not like an extremely accurate depiction of like how much you've contributed generally.
Yeah.
And it also depends on like the style of development, because usually what I used to do beforehand is just like I would make like 2 or 3 commits on a feature that has like 1,000 changes, like, and Ozzy would just like commit every single line of change that he does. Obviously, it's a gross misrepresentation, but generally he's done like a lot of commits. I
Mm-hmm.
do like larger commits because that's how I kind of like to do it. You can check
Mm-hmm.
everything I'm working on, but like it kind of depends on the style.
I see. Interesting insights into like the
And this is just like
core
it's one
behind
of
the
our
scenes
repos. We have
development.
like 15 repos that are kind of like microservices that are working together.
Yeah. I think like do you still do you trade? I feel like we should talk a bit about your trading before we like lose everyone here that doesn't care about any
Yeah, I mean,
technical stuff.
yeah, no, it makes sense. I mean, I'm not necessarily like a day trader. I don't trade that much, mostly because I kind of have to manage the operations, and trading is like quite extensive. Like you have to pay attention at what's happening. Obviously, when markets are moving, you
Mm.
kind of set uh, alerts and whatnot to kind of like, yo, it's like an area of interest of mine. Let me just trade it. I used to trade uh, more actively in the past couple of months or so. But generally, my trading revolves around like buying spot, selling spot, and just hedging with perps sometimes. That's all.
Hmm. So you don't really have any fancy strategies where you just like
No, I mean, not really, to be honest. Like that, I don't do any complex orders in that regard. Or, no, not much. I mean, I kind of collected a bunch of knowledge in the sense that a lot of like stuff I want to kind of read and integrate in my trading and whatnot. But I don't have the time, to be honest, to kind of properly sit down and study for,
yeah.
extensive periods of time, like 2, 3, 5 weeks, 6 months, months at a time to kind of, quickly, they break up. I just got a phone call.
Yeah, you're back, you're back.
Okay.
Um
Yeah.
what
So,
is it like to be
yeah.
or you want to finish it?
Yeah,
Or
no,
are you
I was
still
just
talking
like, I was
about
just
that?
wrapping up. It's just like, obviously I know I'm not like an extremely smart or sophisticated perps trader in the sense that I know how markets are going to behave or like properly
Mm-hmm.
position myself. I don't analyze like macro movements in the sense that, oh, I check Excel with all of the exchanges, see where the markets are moving or whatnot. I would do it. I'm not doing it. So I don't really have any specific trading sites. I mean, because I kind of develop or like the terminal development version is always on my screen, I kind of see where when prices are like, it's obviously skewed. Like I can just take a long or a short here and whatnot,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not like my main source of income, so to say.
I mean, I guess if you know how to develop everything in the terminal, it's like you know enough about trading for someone that doesn't do it as like his full time thing or doesn't really like spend that much time on it.
Yeah, you can say that, I guess.
I'm curious what has like changed since you became the CEO, which has been like not that like quite
I mean,
recent still for now.
I think, I mean, it is sort of recent. I think mostly what changed is that now I have to kind of keep the relations with all the exchanges, with the BDs, with the partners, gonna make sure
Mm-hmm.
that everything's like nice and stable. Chat with our VIP traders. We have like channels. All of their concerns, kind of like make sure they're like don't wait in line for responses because obviously uh, we are mostly oriented towards whales and sophisticated people. They like a certain type of service. You kind of have to take care of them. Um,
Mm-hmm.
It became mostly my job to do so. Obviously, new exchange integrations, I kind of have to kind of deal with all of the new onboarding processes, contracts, documents. But it's a lot of bureaucracy that I didn't know it was so, uh, how do you say, I didn't expect it to be this much paperwork, but it's an insane amount of
Yeah.
paperwork. And obviously, you have to check with legal, you have to check with all of these other areas of a normal business, payroll,
Mm-hmm.
whatnot. Thinking of like strategy, where does the product go, which are good ideas, which are bad ideas. Make sure people kind of have something to work on, that nobody's slacking. You
Mm-hmm.
can you have to iterate over everything. It's like, but thankfully we've got like a properly nice team that is actually also pushing out all right code, correct code, doesn't break as much as I'd expect it to. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
our QA department is doing an amazing job. Because we don't really allow any AI code to kind of go through. I just if it's slower, just be slower, but like make sure it's correct. We don't do any
Mm-hmm.
automated testing because like it's extremely hard to kind of create all of these scenarios that generally a trader would do. So we kind of test everything manually in house. That's why we have testers, we have beta programs and all that stuff that we have to make sure that there's like a conscious observer that verifies everything that goes to production.
Mm-hmm. Would you how do you think about like I think the paperwork and all of that stuff sounds like the most annoying to me personally. Like I'm very glad I don't really have to deal that much with stuff like that in what I do. But I recently actually thought, without like doxing you or anything, but like we're like similar in a similar age range.
Mm.
Um, and I thought it's actually kind of impressive that you deal with all the responsibilities of being like the CEO. Because if I like I do my job and it's like of course I want to do a good job, but like if I like fuck up then it's not the end of the world or whatever. But
Mhm.
like how do you deal with like the added responsibility of like being there for people's jobs and the future of the company and all of that stuff?
I mean, you know, um, it is like a lot of stress, to be honest. You have to make sure that, we are like, the treasury is properly managed. We have like a proper runway. We don't run out of money. Us being free, we kind of rely on user activity to kind of, trade through exchanges and on the exchanges
Mhm.
rebates to kind of make sure that, the operations are all right. That's like one thing that people should understand about Hyperliquid. We don't want to charge the builder fee, but as long as you guys, the users want new features on Hyperliquid, want stuff like that, something has to kind of like provide the development towards it because we've invested a
Mhm.
lot of stuff in terms of research and development and infrastructure and whatnot for getting the Hyperliquid non-validated code up. That's why we have one of the fastest order books amongst the terminals. I'm not sure who else has done it, but Yeah, it's always extremely tough to kind of manage the risks and the decisions I kind of make in sense of like, yeah, we're gonna do this. No, we're not gonna do that because
Hmm.
it's I don't know. I also come from a family of entrepreneurs, generally speaking, so we are not extremely, how to say, we take a lot of risk. Like it is what it is
Yeah.
at the end of the day. I'm gonna do the best job I can. That's why we consult with legal. That's why we kind of research all of the stuff that we do to kind of make sure it's all all right and it's like safe. And yeah, I think since I came as CEO, stuff has been slowing down a little bit in terms of development, but that's mostly an okay thing because the things that we kind of currently have in the reps for the future of the terminal are like
Hmm.
extremely important that we don't fuck that up. Hopefully by the time this podcast is out, the news is going to be out. I'm talking mostly about the new execution engine that's going to allow us to execute algos without the user being present on the website. And that engine we have invested like quite a lot of money and time in it. It's been under development for a couple of months, and as soon as that's out, we're going to finally be able to kind of make some nice mobile apps. Something that we've been lacking. If you take a look at the top builders on Hyperliquid, everybody has mobile app. We don't, mostly because we aren't relying on Hyperliquid's engine to run the TWAPs or chases or anything like that. It's all built in house,
Hmm.
and now we're just going to be able to have it on our own and just develop all of these new crazy stuff. Oh, I think we're just also going to add a Telegram bot as well to kind of view positions and give you information about your current exposure, positions, orders. We can also set alerts to kind of view like price alerts or like also indicator alerts, whatever you kind of want. And yeah, tie that to the execution, mobile apps.
Hmm.
It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, I think many of the people, many of our users are really looking forward to that, as I am myself. I feel like maybe that's actually a good thing to talk about. We could like review a bit what we did so far this year, and then we can talk a bit more about the backend algo stuff, and then maybe about like what we're gonna do in the future.
I'm really bored of
So
it to
that's
assume
like
that I remember most of the stuff that we've done this year. I know people kind of have like a mental model of what they've worked on, but like, there's so much stuff that we're constantly working on. Even the new stuff was done a couple of weeks ago. We just kept doing it. I thought it was released,
Mhm.
wasn't released. It's just like, I don't know. Do you have a list of things we've kind of launched? Because there's a lot of like small
I
quality. You see, you don't know
I
either.
honestly I honestly hope that like we would figure it out together.
I mean, we've done the
Or like
AutoTP
the both of
stuff,
us would like knew. Um
complex order form. Um, what
yeah, the
else?
complex orders is like a huge thing. What else do we do?
Some updates in the position closer stuff, running multiple chases at the same time. It was kind of like last December, but can also be this year as well. Mm, just only Moses, all sorts of like small stuff that improves the
Yeah,
quality
we
of
did a lot
life.
of small stuff.
Um, I don't think we've done any new exchange integrations. Those are planned for January and February
Mhm.
next year.
I think development this year has been like a little bit slower, or I guess like not that many like huge new features. I guess like I mean we did the complex orders, which is like a very huge thing, which allowed you to like create baskets and trade those all at the same time.
Oh
And
yeah,
now yesterday we got the news feature, which I also think is pretty
we've
huge. So
also
you
done the
can like
rebrand this year actually, which was
oh yeah, yes. I swore there must have been like something big
yeah. I mean, you have to
that we
understand,
did
like the
right there.
terminal
We did the
wasn't launched
redesign.
a year ago or like 2 years ago. It was launched like 4 years ago, and
Hmm.
you have to keep up with with the underlying tech as well. We had to do some framework upgrades, and those are like extremely painful to do because it touches
Yeah,
absolutely
right.
everything that you do on the back end and on the front end as well. And there's a lot of people that have been asking for new order types, which are under development. But again, we are launching this new engine, and I kind of decided to kind of eat shit for a couple of months and not release any new order types because I don't want to integrate an order type for an old engine and then have to kind of rewrite the same code for the new engine as well. So kind of have to be
Hmm.
smart about like, keep the users engaged with like new features, like small stuff like auto TP, complex order was like a big thing, but generally you kind of have to make like way like okay, what's actually needed and what's actually smarter to develop later down the line, right? So um yeah, it's a lot of stuff that we're working on at the same time. And from our chats, there's like some other stuff that I can't really disclose right now because I just want to make sure that the beta is ready for it. But like, there's like a
Hmm.
lot of new directions in which the terminal is going, and they're all going to be available like next year a little bit.
Yeah, remember like with the rebrand stuff and all of that, how like it's kind of difficult if you have a huge new change and then you want to like add other stuff during the way as well, but you always have to keep in mind that there's like this huge thing that is like coming, and if you like add too many other things during it, then you kind of like you need to kind of postpone everything just so that you can release a huge thing at once, and then you can just keep going again with like smaller changes.
Yeah, and every small change that you make in the old version is gonna like trickle down in conflicts in the new version, and it's just gonna slow down even worse the progress that you're doing. So you kind of have to pick your
Yeah.
battles when it comes to software development. I don't know. I've been working on software for such a long time, and I don't really mind all of these roadblocks that we kind of make for ourselves. But if you haven't built any software before and you just think, oh yeah, just like add a button on the screen, like how difficult can that be? Like, well, it's there's
Hmm.
like so much shit that has to go into kind of figure out to make sure that it doesn't break anything else, that it works uniformly across all exchanges. The more exchanges we add, the slower we're going to be, mostly because you have to kind of keep the feature set up to par with all these exchanges.
I mean, one more thing that we launched this year is also the podcast, I guess, which is not really a feature, but it's still like an additional thing for the
Yeah, I'm really
terminal,
glad
a bit
about
more
podcasts. Like, there's a lot of neutrals on
active.
CT, and they come and talk about their trading. I hope our listeners have like taken something from it. I
Hmm.
really like the Scott Phillips one. It was like amazing insight in like the game they've done.
Yeah, me too.
Um, so yeah, I'm really looking forward to like the next guests. I hope we're not gonna be running out of guests. It'd be awesome to have like Sam
No, not
FTX
not
directly
anytime
from
soon.
prison, but like, that's not gonna happen.
I mean, who knows? Who knows? Maybe he will get the pardon or whatever, or we're gonna do like the prison phone call episode or something like that. I don't think we're gonna run out of guests anytime soon. I got a lot of good ones for. I'm very excited actually myself for like next year and who we're gonna get on without like glazing myself or whatever it's all about. It's just fun to do, so it's like I'm happy if I can do it more. And if people like it, then it's even better.
Yeah, I mean,
And yeah, but the rebrand was like a huge thing. That was like the biggest change that we made this year. I think like there were some people. I feel like with changes, always people were like hated at the beginning, but then like I honestly kind of forgot what the old UI even looked like at this point, and I really like the new UI. Like I'm very happy that we did all of that, and it just like
yeah,
got
likewise. I mean,
smoother.
we had some users that requested that we put up the old version as well, but there were like some really big changes between the framework upgrades that I mentioned,
Mhm.
and it just didn't work, man. Just like it didn't work out. Like I can't spin up the old version mostly because the authentication is going to be an issue. So to all of our users that are kind of want the old one, I'm sorry, I just can't put it up. I can't be managing so many versions of the same software at the same time. We are still like a slim
Mhm.
team. I think we have a total of like 12 developers. And yeah, I think that's all. So you kind of have to be smart with the resources. And I also don't want to be expanding the team. Take some time for
Mhm.
people to be productive on the code base. As I've said, there's like millions of lines of code. And it's just like, I don't want to be babysitting anyone at the moment. I just want to go and attack the new challenges that we've kind of created for ourselves. But I think hopefully by the end of Q1 and Q2, most of the stuff that we have under wraps is going to be finished, and then we can finally start expanding our order types again. It's going to
Mhm.
be we're going to have like VWAPs, all sorts of like complex new keywords, chases, iceberg orders, all of the fun stuff that you don't get as natively on exchanges. Some exchanges have kind of caught up to us and implemented their own versions of these order types. And for example, Bybit already has icebergs and whatnot, and we don't support them. Mostly
Mhm.
because we want to build our own icebergs and whatnot. I think that'd be much more interesting than just plugging into an exchange and just letting them do all the hard work.
We like the new order types be the main focus for like the beginning of the year, except from like maybe exchange integrations.
I think so. So the new engine obviously has went through a lot of Q&A and a lot of testing, and we're not going to be launching it
Mhm.
for all of the existing exchanges, mostly because some of these exchanges there's like not there's simply very few people trading on it, and I don't think the demand's going to be as much. So we kind of focused
Mhm.
on Bybit and Hyperliquid initially because that's where most people like to trade. Binance is a special case. There's a lot of people, Binance users as well, but like it's Binance. They like to change their API and do like crazy stuff. So that's going to be a little bit later down the line. So as
Yeah.
soon as we have like a production stable ready version of the backend algos, um, our backend link Kai is going to be focusing on adding the new order types as that I've mentioned, because those have been heavily requested. And at the same time, I think our second biggest focus is going to be mobile apps. Like we're going to try and
Mhm.
create new user experience on mobile that most of these apps don't have. They're all extremely simple trading apps. You can't really do as much as I would personally like to do on them. And
Yeah.
we have to do a lot of research in terms of like how do you present like on a small interface this like best amount of complex orders that we have. It's going to be a challenge. It's going to be insanely difficult in some parts, but I think we have the right team to kind of attack and innovate in the mobile trading area space.
Yeah, I'm definitely really looking forward to that. I think mobile is a good way to expand, and it's also just nice to because the terminal allows you to like have all of your exchange accounts at once without even needing like the app or whatever. So it would be nice even to just like look at it more while you're outside or whatever and don't have access to your PC.
Yeah, for sure. And having a native mobile app on a mobile device is going to allow us to push information about the user's trading accounts much better, compared to like you couldn't have a website. If it's closed, you can't get any insights on what's happening through the terminal. But like as soon as we have a
Hmm.
mobile app and that backend engine, then it's always going to be there with you. And it's going to be much easier to kind of react to market movements and to react to your account getting liquidated, for example, and stuff like that. It's going to be much easier. And
Yeah.
we've been thinking about this move for quite some time, and I'm really glad that we're like nearing the inception of dominating the mobile trading space.
Hmm. I think we should definitely make explicit as well how big like the backend algo change will be because like right now you just have to have the terminal open at all times to do anything. Like if you have a TWAP or whatever, you always need to have it open so it can be executed. But that change will allow you to like run any order type and anything that you want while not having the terminal open itself.
Oh yeah,
So you
one
don't even like need to be
one feature,
present or whatever.
yeah, one feature of the backend algo that we haven't mentioned is the ability to set triggers. So what that basically
Mm.
is going to allow you is generally if you want to set a TWAP right now, you just go on a TWAP on Hyperliquid and they're just going to run it for you. Or like even a stop market order, like a limit order, you're just going to have to post them onto the exchange where everybody can see the order. But our new engine is gonna allow you to post orders with us, and they're gonna get triggered by a certain condition, whether if a certain volume gets hit, or if like a price gets hit, or like time expiration stuff. And it's all of these like complex order that you're used to. For example, when Bitcoin crosses 90,000, start a chase long or whatever, something that most of these um, trading apps don't have, mostly because the infrastructure required for it is insane. Generally, our app is written in JavaScript, but for the sake
Hmm.
of speed, performance, and all of the fancy words of like a properly reliable and highly availability software, we've kind of introduced some Go as well, mostly because it's like it can do some stuff faster than JavaScript. So yeah, I think offline triggers are going to be like a really big hit, mostly because you
Yeah,
can
yeah.
pair them with liquidations as well. For example, if there's like $100 million market liquidation in the past 5 minutes, well, start chasing me. And these are
Hmm.
these are like dynamics that
And it's
most
huge.
yeah, and imagine that uh, being available on like a nice mobile app. That's gonna be fucking dope.
Yeah. But even on desktop, that's like already kind of insane. Like many people have always asked for conditions, triggers, this that, like more advanced things, and you will basically be able to do just like everything
Yeah,
that
yeah, yeah.
you would need
It's
as a retail
it's
person.
really difficult to kind of make that in a easily digestible format for the users to kind of use and see and understand, intuitively
Yeah.
what the UI is telling me, what's gonna happen. Oh, and like a nice thing as well is that you can do ratios. For example, if BTC sold is at a certain whatever number, you're gonna be able to
Mhm.
kind of trigger based on like all sorts of like these complex triggers between different assets. So yeah, kudos to Kai and Braden for working hard on the feature. I kind of wanted to work on it, but sadly, my new position has requested my attention in like different areas of the business. And I'm really, really
Yeah.
glad that we kind of left them with them. They have like a strong backend experience, so it's gonna be tight. It's gonna be tight.
Yeah, I can't wait until I'm able to use all of that myself, or until it's like properly out in production. Of course, we have to do a lot of testing and whatever, because with user funds and whatever on the line, we need to make sure that the quality is up
Yeah,
to
man.
par, which
That's
is maybe like also a thing that it sometimes like slows down, because people always ask for so much stuff, like they want this, they want that exchange, they want this feature, whatever. But it's also like, even with the complexity that you talked about earlier, but we also need to make sure that it's like everything is working properly up to our standards, which are very high and have always been very high in the past, which with all our uptime and everything working well. And it needs to be like that forever. So because I don't want to lose money because the terminal fucked up as a user even, and
yeah,
it's very
that's
important that we like keep
that's
track
one
of
of the
that.
reasons why I kind of also slow down development. I mean, I don't care if I don't push a feature out. It's better that the feature is not out, but we are kind of properly testing it. Um, and yeah, normally in a normal company or like a normal traditional set of like tech companies. People just want to like crazy, yeah, just go do things fast, break stuff. But like you reach a
Yeah.
point in which you kind of have to kind of weigh the benefits of like being first and the benefits of like maintaining the quality of your software. So I think we kind of reached the point where we do want to kind of maintain the quality, but also the speed. But there's like some concessions you have to make in order to maintain your status as like that's a properly better tested software.
I mean, we're not really like a social media thing or whatever, where you can just like move fast and break things, or like we need to do stuff to increase our token price or anything like that. It just like
Yeah, no, thankfully,
needs to
thankfully.
work so that it keeps working.
Yeah. Yeah, thankfully. Public disclosure, we're never launching a token. I don't see the reason to kind of launch the token. There is no reason, there is no point in it. I'll never understand like why somebody would launch a token.
You just took that. I just wanted to make a joke that we're going to launch one, but like you just took that away from me, like as a Christmas gift to everyone. But our Christmas gift is that we're never going to launch a token,
Yeah, yeah.
but you get all of the other nice features, so you should still be happy. Maybe you can like make money from trading and increase your profitability a little bit. So
Yeah, I
that's
mean,
like a nice gift to give as well.
yeah, I was thinking at some point to kind of launch some tokens, mostly because you have all of these other on-chain meme terminals, and they pick up absolutely any token that kind of gets launched on all of these like blockchains. And I was thinking that maybe I should launch like 1,000 tokens at the same time on Solana through Pump.fun, with
Hmm.
all called like trade through Insilico _1, 2, 3 and whatnot. Because then all of these on-chain meme terminals that auto crawl all of these like tokens, they would just get like spammed with all of them, like free
Hmm.
advertising.
I mean, more or less free, I guess. You
I
still
mean,
have to
yeah, but
like
like it's like extremely
be
cheap to
able to
launch a
launch the
token
token.
nowadays, isn't it?
Yeah.
Have you traded any meme coins, generally speaking, or are you just like more of a perps trader?
I have used Pump Fun before, like once or twice or something. Like I remember back then when Alon was still in everyone's DMs, like he DM'd me as well, like last
Oh
year
wow.
January, I think, when they first launched. Like he just DM'd everyone basically, and then I've looked at it before and I've like shown it to my IRL friends that don't really have anything to do with crypto, but for them it's like fun to do or whatever. I've made like money once from buying a meme coin, but honestly, I kind of hate trading meme coins because like you love gambling, but I hate gambling, and for me it's kind of like just buying lottery tickets. So I don't know.
I mean, you kind of trade
I
attention.
don't
You kind
really
of
do
hope
that.
that one of these tokens that you're trading will just like pick up into the general mind share, and then it's just gonna like fly.
Yeah, but then it's still so it's such a negative sum game, which you can see by now because it's like just overrun by insiders at some point. Because like if an event happens or like something is there, like anyone can just there are like 50 meme coins
Mhm.
for just for that event. So you never know which one is going to be like the biggest one or only the one that has like the most amount of incentivized people behind it that are gonna push it. And then it's like a different game than what you actually think you're doing because you're not trading just the attention, but also like what other people are doing, like other participants.
I mean, yeah, meme coins
And
are
it's just like,
extremely useless. I don't know. It just I've never seen the appeal to it. I like to trade it mostly because it was like extremely fun. I did make some money on them, but like it was nothing uh, life changing or anything like. So I think the most amount of money I've made on a meme coin was like 2 or 3K. Just like purely luck. There was like one meme coin, is called like cheese coin or some shit like that. I put in like
mhm,
100, $200 and it went up to like 15K. And I didn't sell. I don't know why I didn't fucking sell. And now, in hindsight, it seems like obvious to fucking sell. But like I was like, no, fuck that. Cheese coin's gonna
many
like
such
take over the
cases.
world. Like, yeah.
I just like having like the illusion at least that I like have control over what I'm doing. Or at least like in trading, I mean you kind of have control over your risk management and all of that stuff. And I guess you also have that with meme coins, but it's like it just feels better when what I'm doing feels a bit more logical than just like buying random shit and hoping it will go up. Even though if that's what I'm doing, but it's like at least I can tell myself like, hey, I'm doing
Yeah,
this.
no, I get it.
It feels like less of a waste of time.
Yeah, no, I get it. I mean, even with trading perps, I kind of expect if you take a look at any given exchange, they have like hundreds of perps listed and whatnot. But if you actually take a look at Hypertracker or like any insight into like which assets are mostly traded, it's always like the top
Mhm,
3 or 2 that are like taking like 80% of the volume across the market, in my opinion. Because I used to trade like, like on perps and whatnot on Hyperliquid through the terminal. I used to trade like Farcoin and all of these random ass tokens. And then I kind of looked at Hypertracker and I saw like, wait, actually, most of our traders are actually only trading Bitcoin with, perps,
mhm.
Bitcoin, ETH, and major ones, which kind of makes sense. But then again, like, why are all these exchanges listing all of these dog shit contracts? I guess they just want to have like some fees for a short period of time, but like volume dies down so easily. It's insane,
Yeah.
insane. And everybody's just like fighting for the, majors volume to kind of mindshare, I guess. Software, I mean.
Maybe we can talk about that a bit as well. Like, what do you have an opinion on like the future exchange landscape of like I guess centralized exchanges will like fade a little bit in relevancy, but do you think like decentralized exchanges will take over? Do we think Hyperliquid will take over everything? Do you
Mhm.
think other decentralized exchanges also have a chance? What's your view on that?
Well, I can't even think about it. I don't know. I think, I might say something extremely stupid, but like if you're a trader and if you're like a proper, you know, uh, serious trader that you take trading seriously, I don't see a problem with you KYCing to an exchange. Obviously, you kind of have to make sure that you kind of trust the exchange that you're KYCing on,
Hmm.
and there aren't that many uh, trustworthy exchanges. They got FTX and all that stuff. You never really know which exchange is like fraudulent or whatnot. But then you could just kind of have to look at which ones kind of respect compliance the most. Um, the top few exchanges are somewhat trustworthy, in my opinion. I mean, I'm KYC to like 5 or 6 different exchanges and exchanges. I don't really care to be honest, but I do see the appeal in having something that's directly on chain where you can just like move some balance, trade some perps, get your money, fuck off. Sure, why not? But in terms of tech, I really don't see how tech's perp exchange is ever going to be able to compete with a centralized exchange, mostly because
Mm.
if you're decentralized, then you kind of need nodes. You need to push data across the globe on your all of these different nodes. that's just going to take some time to kind of propagate information. It's going to be slower. Your codes are slower. Everything's slower. I don't know. I haven't really used a lot of the other text perps that are available. I've used Apex. I've never honestly uh, seriously traded on Aster. I kind of give it a try, deposit the money, played around a little bit.
Hmm.
Never used Pacifica, never used Extended, never used any of those other exchanges. Um, as long as you kind of find a venue that's right for you, you kind of like agree with the fees that you're kind of paying on, and then I don't see um, a reason to kind of move around that much, to be honest. Hyperliquid obviously has the first mover advantage, if you ask me. They were one of the first perp exchanges that actually got a lot of the mind share. The team is actually uh, not made up of assholes. They're not just going to nuke their token. I don't want to
Hmm.
glaze them or anything, but it seems that they're like being smart about it. They just want to develop their software, push new stuff out, and make sure everything's all right. Haven't really looked much into the other products. Lighter seems interesting because of the no fee stuff.
Hmm.
I'm really curious to talk with some traders that are actually paying for the higher grade latency, like faster latency and whatnot. I'm just trying to see why aren't they just going with the free one? You if you have like an algo trading on your behalf, then sure, the 200-300 millisecond delay is kind of worth to have. But if you're like manually trading, I don't know, man. It's just like maybe my eyes are slow, but like 100, 200, 300 millisecond delay while I press the button, I just don't fucking notice it.
Hmm.
I don't know.
Mm, I mean, I guess we'll have to see how. I think it's very interesting what will happen, or it's like the most interesting thing in crypto right now, like the lighter TGE, especially like in comparison to Hyperliquid as well. I think the zero fee stuff is kind of interesting, but I kind of prefer like paying fees just because it's like more stable and like understandable for like a stupid person like me that you have like a flat fee that gets like deducted every time instead of like spread, which is like a
Yeah,
bit different. And
isn't it the same though? Is it? I mean, you're still affected by the spread if you pay a higher fee, right? Like on Viper. I don't think the spread goes away if you pay.
I mean, I don't want to like talk too bad about it, but like from my own experience, I'm like lighter used to be really good a couple of months ago, but like now it's kind of like people have made posts about that. If you have like the free tier and you execute, it's very slow. Like it's very like if you scalp like shorter time frames, it's very like you definitely notice the delay.
Oh,
And I think even with the pay tier, it's like a bit better, but there's still I don't know. Maybe it's like because they have so many increased, like the usage has increased so much.
full disclosure,
Like
we are integrating Lighter. I haven't personally worked on the Lighter integration. I don't know. I don't think that we're talking bad about it. We're just talking about the general experience of it. Um, at the end of the day, it's like it depends on the user where they kind of want to take their like business, whether they want to take on Lighter or whatever. We've always tried to be like this agnostic. Like I'm not gonna start shilling any specific exchange. I mean, obviously the market has expanded in so many hubs of volume and liquidity. Like you have all of these perp trading. To some degree, if we are not going to integrate them, all of the volume, a part of the volume is just going to migrate somewhere or on somewhere else. I don't know. So I mean, we're just trying to catch up a little bit. I don't have like a personal opinion about Lighter it being good or bad, but I guess that's. I guess we're gonna see. I'm really curious how many users we're gonna get once we kind of launch integration. To be honest, because it's
I'm
been
curious as well. I do have to say like one good thing that like their UI from like I've tried a lot of exchanges and their UI without the terminal is like one of the better ones. Obviously, like I will be very happy once I can use it inside of the terminal and like because that's for me like proper trading and everything else is kind of like not that nice. But like their UI is definitely like pretty decent for just being like a, an exchange UI, and I think like having like we've also always been like agnostic, and I think it's good if we just like let people make their own choices, and everyone has like their own preferences as well. Like if you care more about the incentives, then you will rather trade on the DEX. But if you really want to like the fast latency and whatever, then you will be on a centralized exchange.
I'm really curious
And
what's
there's
gonna
also like
happen after all of this farming is gonna end. Obviously,
yeah
I don't wanna like say something bad, but like most of these exchanges are just getting farmed. Um, and there is this argument that Hyperliquid, after they kind of done the airdrop, was also getting farmed in hopes for like a new airdrop season. Um,
hmm
I don't see it that way, to be honest. I think volume is kind of like in terms of like percentages and whatever. It's still up regardless of whether there's like an airdrop or not. I think people just like trading there, mostly because
yeah
no KYC and whatnot. But some of these like second tier perplexes, I'm really curious what's gonna happen to them once it's all said and done. Um, do you think
I
that
guess we
there's
see
do you think there's
next year.
life after the airdrop for most of these exchanges?
uh, if I speak, I'm in big trouble.
Yeah, no, I get it.
No
I
more
get it.
questions like this for the sake of our industry. I mean, as like a point holder in many of them, no, absolutely. Like the volume will increase and the token will go up. I don't know. I don't think. I mean, I think it's good that we have like different ones and they're like trying to differentiate themselves a little bit. Like they have different collateralization options or whatever, or different speed and different fee models and all of that stuff. And I mean, there is space for different centralized exchanges as well, but I think it's a bit like Hyperliquid will not be recreated in any way. I don't think so. That's like possible, like with the token price,
Yeah,
regarding
I
the token
mean,
price.
yeah, I mean that's like my point as well. Like my belief, not my point, but I don't know. I'm really curious to see how the competition on the perp exchanges is going to be holding up in 2026. That's like, um, or is there going to be like a perpetual points program for all of these things? Like it can be, it can
I
be.
mean, I don't think that that it's impossible for other tokens to do well. I just don't think they will do as well as Hyperliquid, because it's kind of like this loop thing, as we have seen with like everything in crypto, where the first thing is kind of the one that goes up the most, and then the others. But I mean, I guess it depends. Maybe if there's something that really like innovates a little bit and
Well, I've got
does
a
things
question for
differently.
you because like I haven't really been on the token stuff or like platform stuff. Have you ever traded XPL? What the fuck is XPL about? I keep seeing people like talking about the price and talking about what the fuck is XPL about.
No, it went completely to zero. That's why people talk about it. Like I remember, I traded it in the pre-market because someone on Twitter said like it's going to do really
But,
good, so I
but like,
just
what
launched
does
it.
it do? Like, what's the point of XPL? Like, why did it
Mm,
launch? Like,
it's like a plasma. It's called plasma, and it's like a stable coin chain. Like it's for USDT. I think there is some partnership with Bitfinex or Tether or something like that. Like it's for USDT, I think, and it's supposed to be like you can farm yield on it and send stable coins for like cheap and whatever. But like
I
people
mean,
kind of
AFIs are
realize,
kind
or
of
maybe
down, to be honest. Like, I remember in 2020, 2021, when I was like trading some dog shit tokens on ETH. Bro, I was paying like $100 fees or like blockchain fees. That was fucking insane. And now I can look back at
no,
it, damn.
but people said it's kind of like a neo bank, so like it will reach a lot of people, and stable coins were like the hype for a little bit,
Yeah.
and then
So it's a meme
people
token.
realized like,
As
hey,
far as I
maybe
can.
this is kind of like, and some people like bought it, so it's like kind of a meme that it's like just going to zero every single day, and they're like coping about
I can imagine.
it. So it's just like every other token, pretty much. Like there's nothing that special to it,
I see.
to be really honest.
All right. Yeah. No, I mean, I've been like head down working on the terminal, and I've just seen all of these like tokens spawn up, and I was just like, no,
You're not missing much.
I'm
You're not
glad.
missing out
Glad.
on really any, like right now nothing is happening for the last couple of months since October 10th, when like everything went down. I think the market is kind of dead, and we need to like wait for next year until
Yeah, pretty much.
10,000
October
basis
10, they
point
did kind of
interest
wreck a lot of
cut.
people as far as I can see. Even if you kind of take a look at Hypertracker and see the general volume, and it's kind of dreadful, to be honest. I hope everyone's all right.
I think it will just take time until there's like new narrative. Like it's always like this. Like it takes time until there's new things that spawn up and people are interested again, and people have a bit more money to like play around with.
Cool.
So like maybe next year will be a good year regarding that. What do you like? What do you look at when you think about integrating a new exchange? If you can say anything about
I
that,
mean, we're trying
because
to
I
kind of
think people are
see,
kind of curious.
yeah, we're kind of trying to understand, like, okay, there's like enough liquidity on the exchange. People are, they're like actually real traders on it. We try to get in touch with the teams and chat with them a little bit. Okay, what's your fee model? What's your plans? Like, what's the general direction of your exchange or your future plans of growth? We try to make sure that obviously we're not going to be integrating anyone that's like uh, that might be a danger for our users. Obviously, because if we kind of, the way I see it is like if we list something is like to some degree a voucher of like, yeah, these guys are all right. I hope it's not
Mhm.
necessarily that from the user perspective, but we try to kind of like make sure that we're not integrating any illiquid shit. Because then what's the point of integrating some illiquid stuff in the terminal like that if nobody trades
Mhm.
there? But generally we kind of look at liquid exchanges, and I guess that's mainly it, and that the team is not fraudulent. But like obviously there's not much that I can personally like. I'm not gonna hire like a private detective to go and stalk the CEO and whatnot to kind of see that it isn't
I
as
mean,
well or not.
FTX was one of the first integrations, so like one of the main ones back in the day, and we all know
Yeah, I
how that
mean,
went. But it's also like if it's that big, you kind of still have to like work around or like at least offer the option, I would say. And even
uh,
back then, like no one really knew that it's going to be like
yeah, I mean,
that bad to this extent.
you see, you're gonna, you're gonna be making some mistakes in your life, I guess. But I don't think it was a mistake, generally speaking. It was like approved by everyone in the market, and obviously there was like a lot of volume, and we kind of wanted to give a
Yeah,
better
I don't think
experience.
like I think we should have like I didn't really trade or use the terminal back then, but like if I was with the terminal now and FTX existed, I would say we should have it. Like depending on when, maybe not like in November 22, I
Yeah.
would say like, hey, we should like integrate it, but like the whole year before that, it would just make sense to have
No,
it
but
as an exchange.
as you can see, we're not integrating just any exchanges, even though probably it would have been beneficial for us to kind of get in early to some projects and farm some stuff
Hmm.
as well. But like we just waited a bit to kind of see how stuff develops, like what the general opinion of the exchange is, like you know. And if we have like a lot of requests on the timeline, for example, for Lighter, most of the times when we asked on X, like, oh, what should we integrate next? There were always like a lot of people asking for it.
Hmm.
So yeah, we kind of also listen to our users in terms of like feedback and see, okay, if you guys want to trade there, okay, we might just want to do an integration for you.
What is something that people have asked about that you will like never do? Maybe not like a lot or whatever, but just
Mm,
like
oh, that's a good
someone
question.
asks you
I
for it
don't
once
know.
or whatever. Does anything like that exist?
Uh, I don't think that we've kind of denied any requests. I think about it. I mean, we had requests for traditional markets as well, like international brokers and whatnot. I'm not saying no. It's just
Hmm.
like it's gonna take a while for me to kind of figure out what the fuck's going on their API and like how to kind of properly
Yeah.
integrate it and structure it. But like, I don't think that we've ever said no to a feature request. Probably if it's like a shit dex, we're gonna say no. But generally speaking, no, not really.
Yeah, I was just thinking about it myself. I don't think like I feel like we're very good at listening to users and listening to like their wants and needs and what they would like to see
I mean,
implemented.
as I mentioned
And I think that's
previously,
like
we have like back channels with like high VIP traders, mostly because we want to cater to that specific user type, because they kind of trust us with their size, and we just want to make sure they have like a nice experience. The terminal has some like Easter eggs if you're a specific user or whatnot that they ask for like specific feature implementations that only they can see as well.
Mhm.
So we do custom features as well, but it depends on like the scope of the feature, like how big it is or like whatnot. The latest one we've done, I think, is for the swarm order type. The guy was like swarming like insane size, and the market makers were keeping up with like finishing the best within us. And we had to kind of introduce some delays, like batches of batches, to kind of make sure that
Mhm.
stability kind of increases back again. But
I
yeah,
feel like you shouldn't say that publicly, or your DMs are gonna be full of like custom feature
I mean,
requests.
I'm up for doing custom stuff as long as you're not like you're not mentally challenged. Uh, so yeah, I mean, why not? It's just like new features, I guess.
One more thing we can talk about a bit is maybe prediction markets. Like,
Yeah, that's like an interesting
is
area
there
to kind
any?
of go. We've had a lot of high traders, like high volume traders, that kind of mentioned that's like a nice area to go into, and that might be big next year. Uh, and we do have somebody working for us. Not he actually wrote an article on how to derive the Greeks from prediction markets. He kind of sees them as like options. So that's quite interesting stuff. Well, we do have some unreleased features that he's been working on, and I do really hope to kind of release them sometime in Q1 next year. It's about like our
Mhm.
Smart Hedge feature. Currently, we just let you choose whatever asset, but we've done some work to kind of create some correlation matrices, right? Because if like just an example. BTC is inversely correlated with ETH, right? That means that if you open up long on BTC, then you might as well just open up short as well to kind of hedge your exposure with a short on ETH because they are inversely correlated. And if you kind of manage to do that and integrate some prediction markets as well, for example, what's the Sol token price going to be in like 5-6 months and whatnot, then we might actually give some like proper suggestions. Obviously, I don't want to give anyone suggestions on how they trade or like what to do, but just like some
Mhm.
stats derived stuff like shit like that, you know. And I think that's going to be interesting. I kind of treat the prediction markets like bets. I've bet on like the F1 outcome. I've lost, obviously. Most of my bets have been like talk shit, like but
Mhm.
I think that if we are to integrate them and what I hope we would achieve is like if you take a look at the prediction markets venues, 80% of their volume is like sports betting. I think that maybe if we get to properly display the prediction market stuff, we might be able to push some stuff towards those other markets that are not so well known, right? Like
Mhm.
crypto related. Yeah,
Yeah, true.
just like that.
Well, we were talking about like the seeing it as options. Would you ever integrate some like option functionality into the terminal for
What?
like option exchanges?
Oh yeah,
Like
we were
right now,
actually
it's
thinking
only
about it, but options are, I think, are way too complex for the normal user. Generally
yeah.
speaking, I've never traded options as well. Um, I actually want. I've been chatting with Ozzy and Trip and the guys, and I do want to integrate the option stuff. I think most of the exchanges that we support have kind of added support for options lately.
Mhm.
I think the biggest venue is still Deribit for options, if I'm not mistaken. There are
Yeah.
some interesting Hyper EVM projects that do options, risk finance as well.
Hmm. Oh yeah, true.
And yeah, I don't see why not, but we would kind of have to like we kind of proud ourselves with making the complex simple for the normal user. And in order for us to
Yeah.
do that, we're gonna have to kind of do a lot of research and
Yeah.
development in terms of like how to properly display those things and make the user understand what hell they're doing.
I think it would be cool, but I guess we would need to see like more option usage in general to like really
Have you traded
make it
options
worth it.
ever?
like a little bit, but it's like I have read about like the Greeks and about the different strategies that you can do. Um, but I recently made a post about it. I find it quite difficult to understand. Like I get the options ladder, how it works, like with the different dates, and then you can buy and sell puts and whatever. But like the execution is kind of weird because you don't really like market buy stuff, because if you do, then you're like instantly 5% underwater, because then you kind of have to like put limit orders into the book or do like some RFQ thing or whatever, and then wait until you get filled, and it's just weird. And then on chain is just like even more complicated for how it works. So I'm like,
I mean, to be honest,
I kind of want to do it, but like it's difficult.
I kind of got interested in the options lately, mostly because of risk finance. I kind of checked out their website, and the way they kind of they present them like extremely simple, and
Hmm.
that's why I kind of spawned my interest. Like, yo, maybe we should like finally add some options opportunities for it. Obviously, it's gonna be like a different engine from the backend algos, and it's gonna be like completely different stuff. But
Yeah,
there simply isn't that much demand, I think, on the retail side of
yeah,
options.
probably not. At least not for now, but maybe that will change in the future.
Yeah, I mean, we're open to do all this stuff. Like, imagine trading options through your mobile in Silico Terminal app. I mean, that's gonna be insane. 'Cause
That would be cool. Yeah, I mean,
there's so much shit to do in that
yeah.
mobile app, man. Like, if you take a look at all of our feature offerings in terms of like all of the different components that we have, we're gonna have to kind of jam all of that in like a small mobile UI. Then that's gonna be like a challenge.
Hmm. I mean, yeah, I guess we'll have to see how you go about it. Like, it probably doesn't need to be as complicated, or like, well, not complicated, but complex as like the main website. But
Yeah,
I mean, do people like the thing is, I would say like, do people really seriously trade from mobile? But I think like a lot of people actually only trade through mobile, like ever, and never even touch anything on their desktop. But
yeah, that's one thing, and you have to kind of think about it backwards, right? Like you're on your desktop, the desktop, you start trading, you start getting into positions, and all of a sudden something happens. You want to get out of your positions. You want to kind of change something. You're not next to your desktop. Um,
yeah.
Generally, if you use a mobile app, you can chase in, you can chase out, you can do all that stuff. So you just want to get out of the positions, and you simply can't, or you have to go to our mobile versions of the website, and it's just like a bit weird and not as user friendly as our desktop app. So I think
Hmm.
even us, if you think about it, like we are not a stats platform. You don't derive your trade ideas directly from the terminal unless you're like a short time trader, like uh,
Hmm.
whatnot. But we are an execution platform, right? So uh, once you come and start using the terminal, you should kind of have like an idea of what you want to do. You're not going to start putting all of these like um, how do I say, all of these observational tools on top of an execution system. Obviously, you can do
Yeah.
it, and there are plans to kind of do it to some degree, but we're not. I don't think that we will ever be as complex in terms of analysis as EXO or like something like that. Also, because our thing is
Hmm.
like proper execution, get me in, get me out of the market as fast as possible, uh, in a correct and performant manner. And that's what we're trying to kind of bring to mobile, right? Like you already know what you're
Yeah.
doing. You're not gonna take the mobile app and just like draw lines and whatnot to kind of understand, like get the feel of the market.
Yeah. True.
That's how I see it. Probably people are using it in a different way, but like generally when I trade or like when I do stuff occasionally, I don't go to them and just like, oh yeah, let me check the 5 minute chart to see. I mean, yeah, 5 minute chart makes sense. Like, deep meta analysis.
Yeah. No, I think you definitely like have to derive your ideas from different kinds of tools. Like there are so many tools out there at the moment, and I think even if you would combine like the terminal with something else like that, it would be a bit like there's already so much information. Like I have like three screens where I like look at all of the different things. Only one of them is the terminal, and then it's like,
Yeah, I mean, what if we don't support like a specific exchange that has like does something? Like you're just gonna be blind. You simply have
yeah.
to kind of use different tools. In my opinion, I mean, I wish I could put all of crypto in our terminal, but like it's not possible.
No, not really. maybe in like the future or something like that. I
It's
don't
gonna be
know.
possible, but
But I think we're doing a good job with what we're doing already and with everything that is like coming. So
yeah, I mean, everybody wants everything yesterday. I mean, we just there's like a process to it, and there's like a logical progression to it. That's what we're kind of working towards. For example, the new backend engine that's going to allow you to do some new stuff that you couldn't previously. For example, like the triggers and whatnot, and you are going to be able to kind of pair your trading with like some derived stats from the market, so you don't have to be constantly on the terminal to kind of execute your amazing strategies and whatnot. Like it's not going to happen tomorrow.
yeah. No, but we got like a lot of good new stuff coming. We've had a good year, I think. I don't really have anything else interesting to talk about. I think this is a good point to
Yeah, I
like
know. I mean,
wrap
I
it
kind
up.
of wish that people find this podcast like amusing, insightful, and whatnot. Um, yeah, I guess.
Yeah, we went over the history a bit. We talked a bit about what we're doing right now, what is coming in the future. Um, this
Yeah.
was a bit more of a casual episode, casual Christmas episode. I hope people are still gonna like it anyway. Do you have any like finishing advice, finishing wisdom, or any other finishing words for the end that you want to let people know?
Not really, to be honest. I don't know, man. I just hope they don't make I don't know. I don't know. To be honest, I send me a DM if you want to chat. I guess.
Yeah, Dennis is always up for new feature requests. I can
Mm.
maybe say I'm glad for everything we got to do this year. I'm very excited for next year. I hope everyone also enjoyed the podcast this year and is excited for your new features and new guests and everything we're gonna bring. And we wish you a happy holiday time and
Yeah,
a nice start into the
just
new
like a
year.
small
And
Easter egg. If you get to this part of the podcast, just shoot me a DM. I might give you some merch because I don't think people are going to listen to the end.
no, that's actually good. That's good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm.
Goodbye.